Hi everybody, welcome to my channel Aravind Educations. Thanks for watching my videos. For more information, please subscribe my channel Aravind Educations or Aravind Biology Classes. Today I am going to discuss about 10th Biology Diagram Based Questions Part 2. This video includes diagram based questions, experimental based questions, data analysis questions and their answers. So let us see first, what is the aim of the experiment shown in the picture? To show that carbon dioxide is released in respiration. Next question, what are the materials required to this experiment? Sprouts, glass jar, cork, beaker with lime water. Next question, label the 4 parts in the diagram. Again same, sprouts, glass jar, cork, beaker with lime water. Next question, what happens to the lime water in the experiment? Lime water turns milky white, so we can conclude that carbon dioxide is released during respiration. Here, first question, what did you find in the activity of button and matchstick? We find pulse rate. When matchstick stethoscope is placed on the wrist, it shows vibrations due to elastic nature of arteries. Second question, when do you think that our pulse rate goes up? Pulse rate goes up when you are afraid or excited, during running, jogging, climbing stairs, etc. During any physical activity, our pulse rate goes up. Next question, what does the pulse rate shows? It shows heartbeat because your pulse is your heartbeat. Next question, what happens to pulse rate and heartbeat when run or climbing stairs? Pulse rate goes up due to increased muscular activity, so heartbeat raised to supply oxygen and nutrients. Here, first question, while observing goat heart in the lab, how many layers are covering it? 2-layered pericardium. Heart is enclosed by a bimembranous transparent pericardium. Next question, what is the shape of the heart? Heart is pear shaped, roughly triangular in shape, wider at the anterior portion and narrower at posterior region. Next, how many large blood vessel stumps are attached to the heart? Here in the diagram we can see 4 large blood vessel stumps are attached to the heart. They are inferior vena cava, superior vena cava, aorta and pulmonary artery. Next question, which end of the heart is broader and which end is narrow? Anterior end is wider and posterior part is narrower. Next question, what is pericardium? A bimembranous transparent structure which encloses the heart is called pericardium. So heart is enclosed by pericardium. Next, here first question, name the diagrams A and B. A your left side and B is your right side. A is artery, cut open section of artery. B is vein, cut open section of vein. Next, what are the differences between these two? First artery, second vein. Artery is a blood vessel which carry blood away from the heart. Vein is a blood vessel which carry blood towards heart. Artery possess thick muscular walls and veins possess thin muscular walls. Then artery possess narrow lumen, veins possess wider lumen. In artery blood flow in spurts. means blood flow is not continuous. In veins, blood flow is continuous. Then arteries are deeper placed in the body, veins are superficially placed, and valves are absent in arteries, pocket shaped valves are present in veins. Next question. Which of these structures are deeply seated and which are peripheral? Artery is deeper placed and vein is superficial. Next question. In which blood vessels valves are found? What is the function of valves in them? Valves are found in veins and they prevent backward flow of blood. Here in this picture we'll start from left side. First question, what does this diagram represent? It shows single circulation. Next question, give an example in which this circulation occurs. It occurs in fishes. In fishes, blood is collected from body organs and reaches the heart. Heart pumps the blood to gills for purification. After purification, from gills, blood is pumped to body organs directly. That's why fishes are exhibiting single circulation. Next, towards your right side, what does this diagram represent? It represents double circulation. Second question, give an example in which this circulation occurs. This circulation occurs in amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. Next, what do you call the circulation between heart and lungs? The circulation between heart and lungs is called pulmonary circulation. Next question. What do you call the circulation between heart and body parts? The circulation between heart and body parts is called systemic circulation. Next question. Which type of blood flows in left side of heart? Oxygenated blood flows in left side of heart. Here, left auricle receives oxygenated blood from lungs and left ventricle pumps oxygenated blood to body organs through aorta or systemic aorta. Last question here. Which type of blood flows in right side of heart? Deoxygenated blood flows in right side of heart. Here, right auricle receives deoxygenated blood from body organs and right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood to lungs through pulmonary artery. Here first question. What does arrow marks show in the diagram? Arrow marks shows the direction of flow of water. Next question. What mechanism is depicted in the diagram? It shows ascent of sap. That means upward conduction of water against the gravity from roots to the top of the plant. Here the plant cells exhibit cell to cell endoosmosis. So through cell to cell endoosmosis, water flows from one cell to other cell and finally it exhibits ascent of sap. Next question. Label any four parts in the diagram. So I'll start with root hair, then cell wall of root hair. Around cell wall of root hair you will find soil particles. In between soil particles you will find soil water. And then above the root hair, our root hair is originated from epidermal cell. Epidermal cell, next cells of cortex, and finally xylem vessel, and xylem vessel is responsible to conduct water from roots to upper parts of the plant body. Next question. Which tissue helps in conduction of water? Xylem helps in conduction of water. Next. Which tissue helps in translocation of food? Phloem helps in translocation of food. Here first question. What is the aim of this experiment? To show that roots exerts root pressure. Next question. Is there any increase in the water level? Yes. Water level is raised in the glass tube due to root pressure. Next question. What is the role of xylem in the experiment? Xylem helps in upward conduction of water. Next, label the 4 parts in the diagram. Water in the tub, then soil, cut stem portion, rubber tubing, water level in glass tube, clamp. Last question. Define root pressure. The pressure exerted by the water molecules and absorbed by root hair is called root pressure. The pressure exerted by the water molecules and absorbed by root hair is called root pressure. Your first question. Why inner sides of cover become moist due to transpiration? Inner sides of cover become moist due to transpiration. Next question. Where do these water droplets or vapor come from? The vapor come from leaves through stomata. Next, what is the aim of this experiment? To show transpiration. Next, what happens if the polythene cover is not tied? Water vapor is carried by wind and droplets are not formed on inner side of the cover. Next, label any 2 parts in the diagram. Polythene cover, leaves, droplets, water droplets. Next, define transpiration. Loss of water in the form of water vapor from aerial parts of the plant. Loss of water in the form of water vapor from aerial parts of the plant is called transpiration. Next question. What are the ways by which transpiration occurs in plants? Transpiration occurs by 3 ways, that is 1 through stomata, so-called stomatal transpiration, through lenticels, so-called lenticular transpiration, third one through cuticle, it is called cuticular transpiration. So, in plants, transpiration occurs by 3 ways, that is through stomata, through lenticels and through cuticle. Last question, what is guttation? The loss of water in the form of water droplets through hydatodes is called guttation. Hydatodes are the openings which are present at the end of veins and veinlets in the leaves. These are the abrupt openings which are present at the end of veins and veinlets are called hydatodes. Through these hydatodes, water comes outside in the form of water droplets. That process is called guttation. Here first question. Leaves which have been attacked by aphids often feel sticky. Why? Leaves appear sticky because of honeydew which is excreted by aphids. Aphids absorb so much sugar from phloem which is not assimilated and excreted as a sticky syrup called honeydew. Okay, aphids absorb so much sugar from phloem which is not assimilated and excreted as sticky syrup called honeydew. Second question, aphids absorb so much sugar from which part of the stem? Aphids absorb sugar from phloem. Third question, what does the studies on aphids prove? Biologists studies on aphids to prove food transportation in plants that occurs through phloem sieve tubes. Next question, what is the name of needle-like organ of aphid? It is called proboscis. Aphids possess proboscis through which they suck the food from stem of the plant. Last question, what does the fluid from proboscis contain? The fluid from proboscis contain sugars and amino acids. Here first question. You might have noticed that sometimes barks of the tree damaged more than a half. Even then the tree is alive. How is this possible? Because the phloem is still intact, so food passes through phloem to the roots, so plant is alive. Next question. Why food had accumulated above the ring? When phloem is removed, stem will prevent food from passing down to the roots, so food had accumulated above the ring. Last question. What does the ring bark experiment prove? It proves that phloem helps in translocation of food. Here, first question. Label the parts of the diagram. Outer part is called cortex, inner layer is called medulla. Renal artery, which is dark red in color in the diagram, carries blood into the kidney. Renal vein, which is blue in color, carries blood away from the kidney. Ureter, a pipeline which connects kidney with urinary bladder. Pyramids, a longitudinal section of kidney shows 9 to 12 inverted pyramids. And of course, hilum, the inside folding of the kidney is called hilum. So here we are labeling cortex, medulla, renal artery, renal vein, ureter, pyramids and hilum. Next question. What happens if the kidney fails to function? If kidney is failed, first, no proper excretion of nitrogenous substances. Next, body water and salt level is imbalanced. That means osmoregulation is disturbed. Next, it may lead to hypertension, and finally death of the individual occurs. Okay. Next, what are the structural and functional units of kidney? Nephrons are considered as structural and functional units of kidney. What do you call dark colored outer zone and pale inner zone? Dark colored outer zone is cortex and inner pale color is called medulla. Next question. The right kidney is placed slightly lower than left kidney. Why? To give proper accommodation to liver, right kidney is placed little lower than left kidney. Last question. What type of movement helps urine in the ureter? Movement of urine in the ureter is through peristalsis. Peristaltic movements of urine is exhibited in the ureter. Next, why the diameter of the efferent arteriole is less than that of afferent arteriole? To permit the process of glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration. Here, afferent arteriole is wider and efferent arteriole is narrower. Due to the size difference between both the arterioles, filtration occurs. So the forceful filtration seen in the glomerulus due to the size difference between afferent and efferent arteriole is called glomerular filtration. Second question. Why the nephron is considered to be the structural and functional unit of the kidney? Kidney is structurally made up of nephrons and the process of filtration is done by nephrons. So that is the reason why nephrons are considered as structural and functional units of kidney. Next question. What are the substances that are filtered into glomerular capsule? Water, glucose, salts, particularly sodium and chloride ions. Next, amino acids, vitamin C. These are the substances which are filtered into glomerular capsule. Next question. What is primary urine? Glomerular filtrate is called primary urine, which is almost equal to blood in chemical composition except the presence of blood cells. Glomerular filtrate is called primary urine, which is almost equal to blood in chemical composition except the presence of blood cells. Next question. If you drink more water, will you pass more urine? Yes, because excess water come out in the form of urine. Last question. Why more urine is produced in winter? Due to less perspiration or due to less sweating, water comes out through urine. Now here, first question. What is uremia? When kidneys are failed to work, our body is filled with extra water and waste products. This condition is called uremia. When kidneys are failed to work, our body is filled with extra water and waste products. This condition is called uremia. Next question. Your friend hands and legs are swollen, feeling tired and weak. What does this condition indicate? What do you call it? This condition is called uremia. You feel tired and weak because your body needs clean blood to function properly. Next question. What are the two bottles shown in the diagram? The one which is towards your right side is the bottle with dialysing fluid. The one which is there towards your left side is with dialysing fluid only, but with impurities. Into the second bottle towards your left side, dialysing fluid is coming, which is carrying with impurities. Next, what is the main principle involved in the dialysis? In the dialysis, the main principle involved is diffusion. Based on diffusion principle, dialysis machine works. Next, what does the diagram represents? The diagram represents hemodialysis or artificial kidney. Next, from which blood vessel the blood is taken out? Blood is taken out from main artery. Last question, when is a person required to go for dialysis? When both the kidneys stop working completely, a person is advised to go for dialysis. When both the kidneys stop working completely, a person is advised to go for dialysis. Here first question. What does the diagram show? The diagram shows synapse. How the synapse is formed? Synapse is nothing but the functional gap between two adjacent neurons. The functional gap present between two adjacent neurons is called synapse. Third question. How the information is passed on from one neuron to another neuron? That is through synaptic transmission or neurotransmission. Next question. Where do you find synapse? Synapses are mainly found on the brain, spinal cord and around the spinal cord. Synapses are mainly found on the brain, spinal cord and around the spinal cord. Last question. What are neurotransmitters or synaptic transmitters? Give two examples. The chemical substances which helps in neurotransmission are called neurotransmitters. The chemical substances which helps in synaptic transmission are called synaptic transmitters. Neurotransmitters, synaptic transmitters, both are same. Examples: acetylcholine, dopamine, serotonin, GABA, adrenaline. Next, name the organ shown in the diagram. The organ which is shown in the diagram here is pancreas. Next, why pancreas is called mixed gland? Because pancreas is made up of both exocrine and endocrine cells. That is why pancreas is considered as mixed gland. Next question, how many types of cells are there in the pancreas? Pancreas possesses two types of cells, that is exocrine cells and endocrine cells. Exocrine cells secrete enzymes and endocrine cells secrete hormones. Next, Name the hormones produced by islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans produces three hormones, that is insulin, glucagon and somatostatin. Last question, what is the role of pancreas in diabetes? Here, due to under secretion of insulin, diabetes mellitus is resulted. Actually, insulin and glucagon, both the hormones, they regulate the blood sugar level in the body. Insulin is secreted whenever you find hyperglycemia condition. That means when more blood sugar level is observed, insulin is secreted so that excess glucose molecules are converted and deposited in the form of glycogen. And when hypoglycemia condition is found, glucagon hormone is secreted. That means whenever individual blood sugar level is low, glucagon is secreted, which converts glycogen into glucose so that blood sugar level is raised. Thank you for watching my videos. For more updates, please subscribe my channel Aravind Educations or Aravind Biology Classes. Thank you.